Good evening, Bronco Nation. I wish I may have been coming to you with better news. Unfortunately, it was not a great showing tonight or this afternoon for Boise State, losing to Fresno 30-7, and a strikingly horrific thing to note is that in the three losses, Boise State has only scored 7 points in each of them. So moving forward, Bronco Nation should be holding their breath until that ninth or 10th point is scored because 7 seems to be our undoing. Pop, what'd you think of the game? Okay. Well, I'm Sam Gillette. I guess I should say that. Sam Gillette from Sam Talk Sports. This is Pop from Pop. Yeah, we're trying to make the most of a bad situation here. I will say this, that I was expecting this to be a much more happier post-birthday present, but you know what? Football's still around, and there's that. My lovely wife got me a hat. Look at that. So we're going to change out this one for this one. We're going to talk a little sports. There we go. So first half, third drive in, Maddox Madsen goes down with an ankle injury, and everything falls off the rails from there. Cutforth came in through the 10-yard strike to Penry. May look like we were going to do okay with Cutforth in there. And then Louder has the interception bounce off his hands and into the defender's hands to close out the half, giving Fresno State their field goal, making it 10-7. First half analysis, Pop.
You know what? They didn't look as bad in the first half as they did in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And my Blue Crush defense was dramatically let down by their offense, even worse than in any other game that we've lost. They did as best as they could with the hand that was dealt them. Until we can find a way to have some continuity game to game to game, both in our offensive coordination as well as our on the field play, we're riding a roller coaster.
Yeah. We had 5 false starts for our the crowd in the first half, and I think we only had 1 in the second. So I don't know what the atmosphere was like there in the second half. We'll get Nick's analysis when he joins us a little bit later on. He was there today. But at one point, actually at the end of the first half, Boise State had 64 penalty yards to Fresno State's 60 total yards. So it's never a good sign from a penalty standpoint to see so many penalty yards from that. But on a defensive standpoint, to see so few offensive yards for the offense, it makes it.
Well, it's my good defense. And the problem with those penalty yards is they just weren't, just a penalty here and there. They were penalties that made a difference in the game. I mean, it gave yardage, gave first downs. It was pretty abysmal.
Yes. Boise State ended the game with 9 penalties for 94 yards, and we've always said that our penalties have been our downfall all year. It looked like we got them under control last week. I think we only had 2 penalties last week, and they reared their ugly head again this week. We were dropping like flies, too. A lot of injuries today. Most notable, Maddox Madsen. Sire Gaines was out there for a little bit. It looked like his wasn't too serious as he was able to come back in the second half and do a little bit. But just offensively, once Maddox went down, the timing just seemed off all over the place. And it was apparent coming out in the second half. At one point, there was 3 turnovers and 5 snaps by Cutforth, 2 interceptions and the 1 fumble. And of course, he had the other fumble that we were able to fall on, but it did basically end the drive. So you could chalk that up as a turnover, basically, because it was a drive killer. So defensively, first half was great. held them to 60 yards, total yards in the first half. Our secondary is still pretty dang good, having to play a lot of run support this game. Fresno State only had 35 yards passing. So it was a lot of ground and pound, and whenever your quarterback's turning the ball over 3 times in 5 snaps, it makes it kind of difficult for the defense to get any kind of rest and be able to step up late in the game. Not impossible, but makes it difficult whenever they're on the field that long. And
how did it finally break down?
Fresno State had the ball 33 minutes and 14 seconds to Boise State's 26-46.
Yeah.
So, but being out there, bam, 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 bam. I mean, you had 5 snaps of rest basically,
Yeah.
and that's not good for your defense. So it didn't seem, like I said, timing was off. Didn't seem like we can get any kind of rhythm going on the offense. The officiating didn't help, throwing flag after flag like they were, especially on some of the more minor things. Like, come on, you can't get into a rhythm whenever you're throwing a flag every other play.
No. And then I take some umbrage with our offensive coordination. You know, I made a statement in the past that they call a play that sets up something else that can score for us. And last week a little bit, and this week a lot. It just seemed like that wasn't happening. Their playbook had no creativity, no imagination to it. And after we changed out quarterbacks, it was almost like they were not calling plays that would give him a chance with the rush that he was under and the situations he was in the game.
Yeah. Matson went down on the third drive. He was only 1 for 4 with a -4, but the offensive line seemed to uptick a little whenever Matson went down, probably due to a coach's chewing. Hey, your quarterback just got injured because you're not blocking. But it seemed to fall off there in the second half. What's your opinion of the offensive line?
I agree. I don't care what quarterback you had back there. He didn't have time to take his drop, let alone look for a receiver and make a set. And if you're going to do that, then offensive coordination wise, then you're going to have to move the pocket. You're going to have to, get something done that gives your quarterback half a chance.
Yeah, we don't have a mobile quarterback either anymore. He's over at Arkansas. The best mobile quarterback we've had in some time anyway is now at Arkansas. But should Boise State hit the portal hard or continue their high school recruiting? We've already had several quarterbacks, C26 commits, decommit following Boise State's recruitment of them and other schools taking notice. Should Boise State shy away from trying to bring in quarterbacks like that, or just stick to the portal, pick the guys up that have been forgotten about, and try and mold them into something worthy of D1 schools?
I don't think you can take an either or approach to that. I think it's in our character and in our nature to take those high schoolers and see what we can do with them. We get one that shows that they've got promise. You get somebody comes down the portal that's going to fit the bill, fit our personality. You're going to have to take a look at him. I, on one hand, am so opposed to having to pay college players to play like they were professionals. I'm not opposed to them getting some rewards for the work that they're doing and all of that kind of stuff. But I just think that what might have been a good concept to get them some return for their efforts has just gotten way out of hand with everything they're doing with their portals and the big money be able to buy in their talent and all that kind of stuff. You lose the parity that college football has whenever there's a loyalty to the school, when there's a loyalty to the program, when there's a loyalty to the personality that you're moving into, like what Boise State has.
Yeah.
And so, we'd have to go either or with that I do not want them stop recruiting their high school guys to see if we can't pick up them gems and, get us another Kellen Moore and that kind of thing.
And I laid out my idea for fixing the NIL and portal. And if you want to take a look at that, go to bronconationupdates.com/STS, and you can look and see how I'd fix the portal and everything.
I've got something British to say about that.
Oh, yeah?
Brilliant! It's just brilliant!
On a lighter note, last night or Thursday night was a family affair, and my son's back in the comment section. He says, "Hi, Grandpa."
Hi.
All right.
That's right. What it was? How many years ago was it you was born?
39.
39 years ago.
Yeah.
I still haven't decided if I got a trick or a treat.
Yes, I was born on Halloween 39 years ago. So, yeah.
No, it was a treat.
Yeah. The O-line was pretty holy early on. They seemed to firm up there mid-second into the third quarter, and then they kind of fell off some. I don't know. It shouldn't be fatigue because they were off the field a lot. Maybe rhythm.
Or concentration or internal motivation. I like defenses. I played defense when I played, and offenses were like, they're the little sissy boy prima donnas that get all the glory and don't do any of the work. So you actually have one player on the field that every game, there hasn't been a game yet that he hasn't caught my eye, and that's who's he? Where's the number 0? What's his name?
Ty Benefield.
That kid's motor seems to run 100% all the time.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. They made comment in the during the broadcast that NFL scouts are saying that he puts on a show even in practice as he does on the field. So he practiced like he plays, it sounds like.
I taught that to you, didn't I?
And Nick's had the opportunity to be in a few of the Boise State practices, so I'm sure he can attest to that as well, not just the commentators. And we do have Nick in studio, and we'll be going to him momentarily. Pop, you have any final words? I know you've got other things you've got to go and do, but
I was a fan of Boise when you were considered a traitor if you didn't root for Idaho State. And I have been a fan my entire life, whether I've been in Idaho or Timbuktu or down here in Texas. And win, lose, or draw, all of us bleed blue.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the boys and how they're going to feel in the locker room, having broke that streak of wins and having lost a game on the blue. Their disappointment is nothing, or our disappointment is nothing compared to what the boys are feeling. If the word gets to them, tell them to buck up. We're still all behind them. Next week's another game. Go Big Blue.
Actually, next week's a bye week.
Okay, the week after that.
And it's going to be a tough one, too. We got San Diego State, who just blanked Fresno State. So
what am I going to do next weekend?
Watch the rest of the football that's on TV.
Who cares about anybody else? If you ain't blue, you're nothing.
I think there might be some basketball next weekend. We'll have to look at that. There's probably some blue teams playing. I mean,
is there a tiddlywinks match anywhere?
Curling, I think.
Oh, curling!
I think women's mini curling might be on.
Let me get my broom. Is it new?
All right, this has gotten out of hand. All right, we will be back after this brief. Hold on, let's check this comment real quick. Just got to start all over. Kelton B. Jenkins. Yep. So we'll be back after this brief message, and we'll have Nick on. And Pop, thanks for joining me post game.
Thanks for being my son.
All right, you're welcome.
The Plaza Inn owners, Jason and Selena Jungling, are huge supporters of Boise State. If you've ever watched a game, chances are you've seen them as the superfans, the Flintstones. So let's show them as much support as they've supported Boise State by making the short drive over to Ontario. Enjoy dine-in and carry-out by giving them a call at 541-889-3550 for homemade breads, pastries, and soups. Or check them out on the web at plazainrestaurant.com.
All right, welcome back, Bronco Nation. Nick, Nickelodeon. I'm sorry. We got to make light of this, of a bad situation, right?
Oh yeah.
We got Nick from Bronco Nation Updates, the founder of Bronco Nation Updates. Nick has given me the great opportunity of being able to come to y'all live at the end of the game, waiting for him to come back. So, Nick, how was that that atmosphere at the start of the game? It seemed like it was electric. It seemed like after the student section got their pizza at the third quarter, it just kind of fell off from there. What was your take on it?
Oh yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great. Yeah, that experience was pretty repulsive. As it's going to get for a fan. I think I read on my way back that was the worst home defeat since 1996.
Wow.
To the Vandals, I believe. But yeah, it started out great, and then we started losing the turnover battle, and then Maddox went down, the leader of the team, and then kind of everything just kind of unraveled from there.
Yep. I made a mental note, and I'm sure that you can probably agree with me, but all the Maddox haters can now sit down and shut up, because they just proved today that Cutforth may be good, and maybe with timing and everything, to practice with the first team, it might be better for San Diego State. But as of now, we just saw why Maddox was a starter and not Cutforth, because 3 turnovers and 5 snaps. Granted, one of those was off the hands of Louder, but still. What are your thoughts on the haters being silenced tonight by the 2 quarterback plays?
Yeah, one of the things that people fail to realize in this whole debate is the intangibles that Maddox does. If you're paying attention during the game and you see a Dylan Riley or a Sire Gaines or Malik Sherrod bust a long run, guess who's running along with them and throwing blocks if they can?
Yeah,
that's Mad Dog. And that's one of the things that people don't see. The shiny things are easy to see. With a 6'5", 210-pound quarterback, we'd all love to have that, right? But that's not Mad Dog's game. Mad Dog's game is winning, and he, before this game, he had an 83% win percentage as a starting quarterback. But you look at the intangibles that he does. The on a 3rd and long, he's banged up all year. He can scamper for a first down, and something that people just don't realize is other people's threshold of pain. But those are the things that Mad Dog has been doing for 3-4 years now. And the team looks up to him as the leader. Even though he's 5'10", he's still the leader of the team. The mentality is what can drive a team, and that's what being a blue collar Boise State team is all about. It's having that heart of a champion, that chip on your shoulder, But believe it or not, we're still a mid-major college football team. We're in the group of 6. So leaders like that, you don't come across them every day. And now you can see what happens when you lose the leader of the team.
Yeah.
And with that, we lost the turnover battle, and that put the defense in a bad spot. The tire
Yeah.
was.
And they really weren't on the field that much longer than Fresno State's defense. But whenever you factor in being on the field all that time in 5 snaps, I mean, like we talked about a couple times already, the 2 interceptions and the fumble. Whenever you're on the field for that short amount, or off the field for a short amount of time, you don't get that rejuvenation time between series. And that's something that Boise State's offense has been good at doing, and the defense getting 3 and outs, wearing the opposing team's defense downs, and we just had the Uno reverse card played on us tonight.
Right, and also on top of that, I think what you're alluding to is the field position.
Yes, that too.
They're playing with when you have all those turnovers and that momentum swing. The defense is really playing on their heels. The short field and that's a lot of those yards that were gained on the defense, especially in the running. The rushing game for Fresno. It's because they were trying to defend a short field after some of those. After some of those turnovers. So,
well, shall we get into some team stats?
Sure. Let's see. We got okay. I think Rose. I think your dad's going to be telling you who was the best on our defense. So here we go.
Yep. We'll go team stats first. Pull this back up. Obviously, we lost 7-30. Not a great showing. 193 total. Hold on. Backtrack. Game stats presented by KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM, and the Blue Elevation. Elevating Bronco sports through fans like you. To find out more, visit www.blueelevation.org and catch Nick Wade on the Kevin Miller Show over the air through the KIDO app every Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Your team stats: Boise State loses this one 7-30 to Fresno State, and Fresno State has really had our number the last 3 years. Retaining the milk can. 193 total yards for Boise State, 102 through the air and 91 on the ground. The 2 interceptions and the 1 lost fumble all came right there at the span of 5 snaps. We did have another fumble that basically was a turnover because it was a drive killer, but it does not go in the record books as one. 3.1 yards passing and rushing on the ground, so we were kind of consistent there. Only 11 first downs. I think that's only the second time this year that we've been held under 20. The second or third time we've been held under 20 first downs. 9 penalties. The penalty bug's back on us for 94 yards and a 26-46 time of possession. Fresno State at 224 total yards, only 35 through the air. So our passing defense held their own, but you really didn't need to pass on Boise State when the ground game's given up 189 yards, averaging 4 yards a rush. Fresno didn't have any turnovers. They had 15 first downs, 9 penalties for 56 yards, and held the ball for 33 minutes and 14 seconds. And like you said, field position is the reason why Fresno was able to really jump out and get ahead, because their stats tell a completely different story than how the game went. And we'll go defensive, shall we? since we have the defensive question. There we go. Our defensive player of the game, presented by the Organized Experience LLC, helping people gain freedom by preparing, decluttering, and organizing. Let Stacy McLaughlin help you with all your organizing needs. For more information or to schedule your organized experience, visit theorganizedexperience.com. You're the Organized Experience defensive player of the game is Ty Benefield. He had 11 tackles and 9 of them were solo, but he really did a lot of the intangibles, keeping people in front of him. He was all over the field today. That's your organized, experienced defensive player of the game. So, Bri, there's your answer to your question. That's our best defensive player today. Moving on to offense. Your I Am Gifted Foundation, dedicated to empowering the next generation through sports camps, financial literacy workshops, and mental health awareness discussions. Former Boise State running back Alexander Madison founded the I Am Gifted Foundation. Together we can inspire hope, foster growth, and create lasting change. Join the movement at IamGiftedFoundation.org. Your I Am Gifted Foundation offensive player of the game is Malik Sherrod. Had 10 carries, 67 yards, averaged 3.1 yards per carry, and had a long of 44. Not the greatest of stats, but we didn't have the greatest of offenses either. But Sherrod showed up versus his former team and put a dent in their defense. Just wasn't able to push it through. So that's your I Am Gifted Foundation offensive player of the game. Nick, what are your thoughts?
I think the bright spot of it was, again, our secondary. They only allowed 35 yards in the air.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then, even though the defense gave up 189 yards on the ground, again, I think a lot of that was due to that short field position. And Buck, he's going to be an NFLer, that's for sure. Without him, they may have had even more yards on the ground. Just that there's a little known secret about the Broncos is Buck Benefield is the fastest on the team, and he can play center field back in as safety, and everybody sees it. He runs up there, and if somebody gets past the front, he's there to clean it up most times. As you can see, he tallied 11 tackles.
9 solo.
Yeah. So just a great performance by him. A very valuable piece to the defense. And then, great to see that. Although there wasn't much to talk about on the offense, but we spoke with Billy in our preview, and I think Billy was the one who mentioned that he'd like to see Malik Sherrod pop off, and he was able to do that with that 44-yard, and that was it was as much fireworks as we got on offense. So
it's tough whenever you have a backup come in, especially early in the game, and there's really no offensive momentum at all. I mean, you had all the penalties, and it seemed like the refs were at the laundromat, not the football field. So it was, in my opinion, it was the worst officiated game of the year. They never let either one side get anything going on offense, and that's why you see the low offensive numbers. In my opinion, that's about the same opinion you had being there in person.
A little bit. I know that there was one series where I think we had like 3 in a row, and I do actually think that maybe one of those was ticky-tack, but we had a couple series where they just were not. It was just not good Bronco football. I do. I don't like to usually pin stuff on the refs. If there's one that was in particular a couple years ago in a night game that was like really bad, and I don't think that it was the refs that beat the Broncos today.
Well, the refs definitely didn't beat him, but they didn't help him. Didn't give him any favors anyway, I should say.
I really think that I love Max Cutforth, and he's a great kid. I've always had the opinion that Caleb and Ed could spin that ball, probably second best on that group. So I'm not sure the extent of Mad Dog's injury, but clearly Max wasn't ready. And that's still thought of his own, you know. He, with Mad Dog in there, you don't really get a whole lot of chances. So
I don't ever understand, and I know it's because you don't expect your starting quarterback to go down, but I never understand coaches that don't give equal reps for your first team just for the timing. Being able to get that timing with your wide receiver against a starting defense, or your practice defense, I should say. I don't understand, and they may do it, but I just don't understand why it's not done more, especially for your backup, so that whenever you get into a game time situation like that and you do have a injury happen, your backup comes in and there's no fall off. And I know a lot of it has to do with practice time. You want your starter to get in there. You want him to have the most looks and everything. But have him in the backfield. Have him back there where your second string takes the snap, but you're in the backfield too, outside of the pocket and all, and you're reading the defense too and making your throw, going through your motion, but you're 10 yards behind the line going through your motion. Maybe I don't know.
It's a tough one because I've been at the practices and what they do is the first teamers, they'll split between Mad Dog and then the scout team, you'll see they'll be splitting between Caleb and Zeke. So there's equal, but there's really not, you really don't know until they are, in full game mode, and that kind of separates, the wheat from the chaff. So kind of shows you where we're at.
Yep. And unfortunately, that's going to spell the end to our CFP hopes this year. There's just not enough time to recover. There'd have to be an absolute miracle in the AAC, a complete meltdown of every team losing to every other team twice or even three times. But at this point, I don't think our strength of schedule and our strength of record can recover to a point that would say, let's look at Boise State for the CFP. We've already proven that until we can score more than 7 points a game, we can't win a game. All three losses have been 7 points, 34-7 to USF, 28-7 to Notre Dame, and then 30-7 here. All three games, the defense played pretty good. USF might have been the worst defensive outing of the three. But turnovers in Notre Dame and turnovers in Fresno State really were the difference in both of those losses. So, well, Nick, let's go to a quick break and come back, get final thoughts and around the league. Maybe. I know I put you on the spot.
All good. Here we go.
If you need painting done, stay out of the heat or the cold and let Crosby Custom Coatings take care of you. Scott has been your Treasure Valley expert since 1979. Call him at 208-939-6962 today.
All right, Bronco Nation, we appreciate you staying with us on this post-game coverage. Not the outcome that we wanted, but we do still want you to subscribe to YouTube if you're not already. If you're watching us on Facebook or any other platforms, if you would do us a favor and go give us a subscribe on YouTube. That helps us monetize, and we do share profits with the university, so that will help bring in the quarterbacks. It'll help keep the recruits from decommitting, and Nick, you want to give them a quick rundown of Blue Elevation and how they can direct their funds to go to whoever that they want them to?
Yeah, our nonprofit Blue Elevation is kind of a one-stop shop. Gives you a lot of variety of ways that you can help out the school. We have, we have a scholarship to help out the walk-ons. Then we have, you're able to go on and donate whatever amount that you can, whatever you want, and you can direct it to whichever program you want. So if you like tennis, then you can donate, whatever your heart desires, and then as you're checking out in the comment line, just put in their tennis, and that'll be directed to the school for that program. We also do. We're very very proud that we are involved in the community. So we do partner with student athletes, and we're looking forward to doing the 3rd annual Bronco Christmas on the Blue. And with that, then we just pool together. Bronco Nation can help us bless the community. Last year, we adopted 17 children from the rescue mission and made their holiday with Christmas. So we're going to be kind of rolling that out here pretty soon and getting that going. And that gives the athletes a way to give back and partner with Bronco Nation that way. And we're always looking for volunteers too. So go to blueelevation.org and just take a look if you want to help out a walk-on. You can donate to Carl's scholarship, Beyond Blue scholarship, and then also all those other various ways to help out with programs, small capital projects, large capital projects as they pop up with Boise State. We're equipped to take gifts for anything. So it's a great crowdsourcing mechanism for Bronco Nation.
Yeah. Earlier today, we saw New Mexico beat UNLV 40-35, and Army on a last-second field goal. One heck of a throw by their quarterback to put the nail in the coffin for Air Force. Air Force had stopped Army on 4th and 1 and got the ball back to take it down and score with, I think, 1:26 left, if I remember right. And then Army was able to drive down and get in field goal range and beat Air Force 20-17. Tough loss for them. All right, now San Diego State in the second quarter is up 10-7 to Wyoming at home. And, of course, Fresno State beat Boise State 30-7. So that's your around the Mountain West. We'll get updated standings out in the group. Boise State still has a shot at the Mountain West title. I think I saw a graphic earlier today that has us playing Washington State, Washington, or Cal, or Arizona in the LA Bowl. So we can still win the Mountain West. We can still get a quality opponent outside of, say, Washington State. That would probably be the worst of those teams to play if we want to, for recruiting purposes, I should say, if we want to prove a point. But we do have some really good football still to play going into a bye week, and then get Max some good reps with the first team coming out, and we'll play San Diego State in 2 weeks. Hopefully we get a better outcome and not get shut out. They've already pitched 3 shutouts this year, so definitely need Max to hit the lab and get some timing in with them receivers and the offensive line, get some healing done so that they can throw their blocks. Let's run through these one more time. Your game stats presented by KIDO Talk Radio 107.5 FM, 850 AM, and Blue Elevation, elevating Bronco sports through fans like you. To find out more, visit www.blueelevation.org and catch Nick on the Kevin Miller Show over the air or through the KIDO app every Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Your Blue Elevation team stats. Boise State loses this one 7-30. They had 193 total yards of offense, 102 through the air, 91 on the ground. 2 interceptions and 1 lost fumble. Was really the nail in the coffin for the Broncos. They had 11 first downs, and penalties really did not do any favors as well, with 9 of 94 yards. They held on to the ball 26 minutes and 46 seconds. For Fresno State, they had 224 yards, only 35 through the air, 189 on the ground, no turnovers, averaging 4 yards per rush. But again, whenever your defense is on the field in short spurts or in longer spurts and shorter rest time, that's probably going to happen no matter who you are. 15 first downs for the Bulldogs, 9 penalties for only 56 yards, and time of possession of 33-14. Your defensive player of the game, the Organized Experience LLC, helping people gain freedom by preparing, decluttering, and organizing. Let Stacy McLaughlin help you with all your organizing needs. For more information or to schedule your organized experience, visit theorganizedexperience.com. That's the Organized Experience, spelled XPERINC.com. You're the Organized Experience defensive player of the game is Ty Benefield, decluttering the chaos with 11 tackles, 9 solo. He was really all over the field today, and like Nick said, one of the fastest, the fastest on the team, and he showed it today, being where he needed to be to stop the big plays. That's your Organized Experience defensive player of the game. The I Am Gifted Foundation, dedicated to empowering the next generation through sports camps, financial literacy workshops, and mental health awareness discussions. Former Boise State running back Alexander Madison founded the I Am Gifted Foundation. Together, we can inspire hope, foster growth, and create lasting change. Join the movement at IamGiftedFoundation.org. Your I Am Gifted Foundation offensive player of the game is Malik Sherrod. Former Fresno Bulldog turned Bronco, had 10 carries, 67 yards, averaged 3.1 yard per carry with a long of 44. It's good to see him bust that one. Now that's your I Am Gifted Foundation offensive player of the game. Nick, you have any parting words for Bronco Nation? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm a little hoarse, so I'm kind of packing up some stuff. So I would just say, they got a bye week, so let them go to the lab and make some adjustments. The season's not over. The CFP, I won't be talking about that. That door is slammed shut. But Boise State still controls its own destiny and defending the conference title. I'm just hoping that they win out, and then they can host the Mountain West Championship at home, and then get the best opponent for the postseason at the LA Bowl. And that's I would just say keep supporting those student athletes. They're busting their asses out there, and they want to win just as bad or even more than we do, and they're the ones who are putting in the time, the effort, the diet, and all that. Some of the things that we overlook, they're actually practicing and practicing, everything that it takes to keep their bodies well. They can't go out to the buffet like we can and, eat, ice cream whenever they want. They have a balanced diet. They're constantly measuring how much protein they put in, what they're doing in the weight room. So a lot that goes on during the week that we don't see on the field. So, you just have a little bit of empathy for these student athletes, what they're going through, and just keep supporting them. And just like at the game, even when we were down 30-7, I was still up on my feet, yelling my lungs out. First through fourth down when they're on defense. So, all is not lost. There's still a title to defend, and we can still support that.
Yep. Yeah, we may not get CFP this year, but we defend the Mountain West. We still want to take that trophy with us to the Pac-12. We don't want to leave it behind. We definitely don't want to leave it behind to someone who's staying either. So next one up, San Diego State. We beat them, and we may be seeing them back at home for the Mountain West Championship if they win out as well. But first things first, we got to take care of business in 2 weeks. And I believe that game is on CBS Sportsnet, and I believe it's a night game too, if I'm not mistaken. Another midnight bash for me. So, yeah, I think that game's at 9:30.
Pacific time, you got to love it.
Yep, that game's at 9:30 my time, which means we'll probably be 1 o'clock starting the post-game show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I'm going to need a nap and a bunch of coffee.
So, Bronco Nation, it was a terrible loss, repulsive for me. But I'm going to continue to support our student athletes. Look for my articles out there. I try to be as objective as I can and realistic as I can, and pointing out where, the gaps are. And so just look for that and, interact with me. Let me know what you think of that. We're looking for other content creators to join the efforts. Like to get different perspectives on things. So if you're interested in writing articles, give me a holler. Love to see that. And I've been starting the basketball articles as well. I've got the men's and women's basketball articles out there, the preseason, the preview of the season. And they're hitting the courts on Monday. So,
yep.
Plenty of things to root for. Even when the football team has an off day. But let's continue to give them our support. And, they still have, their goal in front of them, and that's winning the Mountain West.
Yeah. And we saw the comment earlier today. I don't think we put it up, but saying that Boise State needs new coaches. You can't coach losing your quarterback on the third drive of the play. Yeah, maybe late in the game, but to have a quarterback come in and try to run an entire game, an entire offense, basically from the rip. I mean, he was in there for much of the game. That's hard to do, especially whenever you're not QB1. Yeah, the playbook and everything, but you don't have the game experience to get in there and do it all and make it all happen. So no, I don't think we need a coaching change. If anything, I think Nate Potter needs to open his mind and not be so boxed in. However, a lot of that could be knowing the ability of a backup quarterback. What does he know how to do? What does he know how to read? And all of that. So we don't know the limitations that were present. Only the coaching staff does. And a lot of people say, the coaches should be able to work that out in practice. You don't plan for your starting quarterback to go down. So that's I don't think we need a coaching change. I just think Cutforth needs to get in there, take this bye week seriously, maybe hold a Sunday practice with his wide receivers just to get some timing routes down. So that's my opinion on the person that commented about needing a coaching change.
And realistically, guys, Nate Potter's in his first year. They're not going to make a change after 1 year. I will objectively write about, maybe some of the playbook that we're seeing. So, look for that. And again, really love to see other people's perspective, interact with some of these articles that you'll see in Bronco Nation Updates, the group, and on the website, and across social media. Really love to see other people's perspectives. Again, if you're a Bronco fan, you're a VIP in my book, and I'll receive anybody's opinion and not put you down for it. So we'd really love to hear your opinion, and let's talk about it.
Yep. And don't think just because we don't have a game next week that we're not going to be Bronco Nation live on Thursday. We got some things in the works, and we'll get promos out to y'all and let you know what's going on. Thursday shaping up. Could be a pretty good show.
Yep. We've got lots of stuff going on. We got other sports that are we're zoning in on, maybe getting some good interviews in and some shows. So just keep looking for that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that'll keep you in the mix with the things that we're doing.
And don't just subscribe, but hit that little bell button so you get notified when we go live in case you don't see the ads in the Facebook group.
Yep.
So, Nick, wasn't the greatest of games, but there was some bright points. Our secondary is not as trash as what people made them out to be in the past, and they proved that today. They proved that really all year long whenever you look at the numbers. Secondary, definitely the bright spot of the day. Hopefully Max can get into the practice field today or this week and get some timing done and really get some offensive continuity going, especially if Mad Dog can't recover in the week. We don't know the extent of his injury and probably won't ever know until kickoff of until the injury report comes out that they now have to do. But other than that, secondary, man. Who would have thought at this point in the season we'd be saying the secondary is the bright spot of the Boise State football team, especially after how it seems like they've been for the last several years.
Yep. Super proud of them. They've come a long way, and it's nice to see that they're overcoming that adversity and some of the static, and that's what football is all about. That's what sports are all about. It's coming against adversity just like today, and you get another chance tomorrow, and let's see what the Broncos come back against San Diego, what they worked on and how that's working out.
Yep. Well, my friend, I'm out of topics to discuss. I'm sure your voice can't discuss much more. For Nick Wade and all of Bronco Nation, I'm Sam from Sam Talk Sports. Y'all have a good night. Don't do anything stupid. There's still a lot of football to be played. There's a lot of good football on right now. So go out, watch some games, lick our wounds, and come back ready to cheer on your Broncos to a Mountain West championship, even though the CFP is lost. So,
thanks for watching, Bronco Nation. Love you. Bleed blue.
Yes. Go Broncos.
Hi, I'm Ron Dorn. I'm president of Blue Elevation. A lot of you have probably heard of it and other sites like Bronco Nation Updates, and I just want to talk a little bit about Boise State football and what we're trying to do to help move the team forward. It's a lot of fun to work with them, but as you know, with the upheaval in college football and the NIL money, we're always needing more, and we're trying to do that by giving more news to you than you can get in other sources, and events that you might be able to attend. And we would just love to see your support, additional support for Boise State, so we can take this to the next level, especially moving into the Pac-12. I see such a bright future for us by doing this. For those of you that are as old as I am, you remember when we had wooden bleachers and we did rodeos in the stadium, and we had good coaches and we were doing the best we can with what we had. These coaches need that continuated support to make it happen for us. You can see what we've done with what little we've had, but we really need the help, and we just need the commitment, and we need you to get involved with us to push the Boise State program forward. again, especially going to the Pac-12, and especially the futures out there, and what the basketball team is doing, the women's softball team is doing, and some other sports that I follow. We just want to keep you involved and focused and helping us out any way that you can do that to support our university.